What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So, Kevin Durant was unhappy because the Nets traded James Harden, and he was also frustrated with Ben Simmons' lack of development. So, without further ado, man, before we get into the content, make sure like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification posts so that you never miss any new videos that are coming out. And without further ado, let me just get into it. So the 2022-2023 NBA season has been full of ups and downs for the Brooklyn Nets. At the start of the season, the Nets had the dynamic duo of Kevin Durant and Kyrie on the roster and even had high hopes of Ben Simmons. Potentially, when Ben Simmons was traded there, to assume that it's going to be a big three of KD, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons. So for what it's worth, the Brooklyn Nets did dominate for the league for a few weeks thanks to the sensational performance of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, but everything changed for the team around the NBA trade deadline. So in the NBA trade deadline, KD and Kyrie were dealt, and in this video, we will look at the real reason behind Kevin Durant's unhappiness with the Brooklyn Nets. So through the past 3.5 years that KD has been in the Brooklyn Nets, they have not been one of the best. But in this video, it'll just be to address the real reason behind Kevin Durant's unhappiness with the Nets. Just this past offseason, KD shook the NBA to its core by asking for a trade. Many expected Durant to indeed get a trade and start a new chapter in the offseason. But however, for some reason, KD rescinded his trade request, and the Nets somehow managed to convince him to stay with the team. And Kyrie getting traded to the Dallas Mavericks was the last straw for the Slim Reaper. I mean, there's no way you're gonna trade away Kyrie and just leave KD with the Brooklyn Nets like that. So I'm pretty sure he, went to the front office, didn't go public with the trade request, and just told them, yo, you guys better just trade me because there's no way you're gonna, let me just be here all alone as a lone star, and Ben Simmons is not developing. So yeah. KD followed in his footsteps and got out of the Brooklyn Nets as well, forming a super team with the Phoenix Suns. So the Phoenix Suns are actually looking pretty stacked right now. They have Kevin Durant, they have Devin Booker, and CP3. So that's a legit big three that I feel like it's a championship or bust trio. They have to at least deliver. And they managed to also retain DeAndre Ayton. So that was a huge win for the Phoenix Suns, because in all the trade rumors that were popping around, especially in the offseason, you could see DeAndre Ayton was on the chopping block as well. If KD was going to go to the Suns, there were mock trades showing DeAndre Ayton had to be dealt as well. But the Phoenix Suns, their front office managed to keep, not even a big three. Now they are a legit big four. If you might count DeAndre Ayton, if he decides to put on his big boy pants, especially going into the postseason. So, but what were the real reasons why KD got traded? So, Christian Winsfeld of the New York Daily News explained in a recent article, so via New York Daily News by Christian Winsfeld, Durant was frustrated by the trade that sent Harden to Philadelphia for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and Andre Drummond. Specifically, he became frustrated with Simmons, who had received more lenience in a shorter period of time than Kyrie, despite providing significantly less production in his minutes on the floor. Durant and Simmons' timelines never aligned. Simmons was always going to be a long-term reclamation project, given his history of both mental health issues and back injuries. You see, he came up with reports that he had back injury. He underwent back surgery. So yeah, maybe I can say Ben Simmons underwent back surgery because he used to play a lot of Fortnite, and he's being paid about $38 million a season. So I mean, that's one thing that I might say that. But in the beginning, he's beginning to come to terms with the idea that he will take a long time. This is Ben Simmons, to get back to the uber athletic form that helped him dominate on both ends of the court, if that moment ever comes. So we're just waiting to see if Ben Simmons is going to get back to the Ben Simmons that was with the Sixers. But Yet, the Nets could have made a move to bolster this roster during the offseason, that involving Ben Simmons. So as it turns out, Durant was long frustrated with how the Brooklyn Nets handled their key players. On top of that, the franchise also failed to make a crucial trade that could have convinced KD to stay. So at the end of the day, the Nets fumbled that part and ended up losing the big three of KD, Kyrie, and James Harden in a year or so. So, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like the Brooklyn Nets owner deserved everything that came to him, and even the front office. And they're quickly becoming one of the most incompetent franchises in the NBA. Because if you ask me, even I made a tweet. I just said, the Brooklyn Nets should sack their whole front office. Also, the Nets owner, man, Joe Tsai, man, and Sean Marks should just leave, because the Brooklyn Nets, at the way they have been constructed right now, is just full of dysfunction. I mean, as much as you can say, put all the blame to Kyrie, you can say Kyrie did this. The NBA just kind of forced them to get rid of Kyrie and the antics that he brought in. But if they were firm and supported Kyrie, which they were fast, but they folded when the NBA shook them with their demands on that end behind the scenes. But all I say is it's not even about Kyrie, Harden at the time. Is what they lost. They lost three superstars who are at the prime of their careers. He lost KD and Kyrie in the trade deadline. They traded James Harden the trade deadline for Ben Simmons. So it would be very hard, especially when time progresses. How will you be able to explain fumbling it with three Hall of Famers and you retain the services of Ben Simmons, who is yet to prove himself as a Brooklyn Nets. So, in my opinion, the Brooklyn Nets are quickly becoming one of the most incompetent franchises in the NBA, and what they recently concluded trade deadline and also the seasons explain that. So yeah, man, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, comment what you think on the comment section, and like the video, because it helps me out a ton. And don't have much to say, man. I'm out, man. Peace.